think we can't afford not to be passionate about sustainability. We have a very fragile food system. Sometimes we forget that because we're surrounded by beautiful product, but that beautiful product is part of a really complicated system. And when one part of that system fails or is threatened, we're going to have a lot of challenges. So with growing populations, with climate change, with competitive pressures, we need to be looking at opportunities to be sustainable and profitable wherever we can. Home consumer is to compost as restaurant chef is to staff meal, right? It's so easy to just be like, serve it for staff meal. Forget about it, you know? But if you have that mindfulness, maybe there's a way to menu some of these things for profit before turning them into staff meal. Well, I think there's also a mindfulness in cooking, right? If you peel a carrot, where are those peels going? Why? The leaves of the cauliflower head. They're delicious, right? They're tasty and you can cook them, you could do stuff with them. But I've just for years been so ingrained of like, if it's not the white floret part of the cauliflower or the very inside of the stem, like it's compost. Okay, great, one step better than landfill. But you know, the first time I made a fried rice with those cauliflower leaves, I was like, how many pounds of this stuff have I thrown away? Not even thinking about it, right? So a lot of what we're trying to do is just be mindful about where the opportunities are. If you think about every other social movement, civil rights, Earth Day, right? It's all young people who are pissed off and want to do something about it, right? So when I was in culinary school and I was interested in exploring issues of sustainability, for example, the answer was poach your fish, get it right, build your skills, pay your dues, later, later, later. What if we go to a bunch of 18-year-olds and we say the same kind of passion and energy that you're putting into, you know, how you're garnishing your plates or how you're using xanthan gum, I don't want to minimize that. Keep doing that. If that's what you're into, that's great. But why don't you put some of that energy towards school lunch or to food waste? We don't need Jamie Oliver doing school lunch. He's like, start now, right? And then instead of being 50 and a multimillionaire and starting a foundation and saying, oh, I should do something, what if you spend from 18 to 50 building skills and experience around those issues, right? Then you're there. The World Bank estimates that by 2050, they have to increase food production by 50%. We have to increase food production by 50% to feed the growing global population, which is like pretty much impossible to increase by 50% in 30 years. We're wasting 1/3 to 40% of food already. So then if we figure, all right, if we're a little bit better about how we do things now, that gap becomes a lot more manageable, right? We're talking about maybe 20%, right? Chefs know how to do this stuff, right? Even before it became sort of a hot topic in the national spotlight, chefs have been running efficient kitchens and doing this. I think part of what we need to do is do a better job of saying we're leaders in this. And part of it is, again, being mindful about how we're doing it to make sure we're doing it well. So one thing I would encourage you to leave with is look at some of that article, that PowerPoint, and just think of like one thing to try that, you know, might make a difference. And if you do one of those a week, it may make a difference over time. So.